going. I don't know what to tell you on that.
Objects have clearly begun moving in the house on their own, but that isn't nearly as startling as when Wade literally sees somebody standing in the shower, only to check it, find no one, but there is a knife on the shower floor. As he bends down to pick up the knife, we hear literal growling noises. He pans up and the video cuts out. And this one is captioned, "This was the last video on his phone." So I guess in that one video where he captioned it, I'll show you how I made it out, like it's too traumatizing to edit and post all at once, was somewhat misleading, as now he is gone, and this is just the last video that was on his phone. It would seem that Wade did not make it out at all. And this is where the story ends. The next video is from Light's Siren Action. Our poster works.
I didn't know where the shit went, so I just put it in a box.
In this story, she had been called to the home of a 45-year-old woman who had started experiencing seizures. However, when she and her fellow paramedics get there, law enforcement is acting kind of weird about this. They're a little jumpy. They're basically saying, "Hey, if you don't need this, we're gonna leave. Like, we're gonna go." And I crouched down and I wanted to ask the patient questions. When I crouched down, she turned and contorted her body towards me in another position that did not look human and began to growl. This is around the time that our poster really started to take note of the room around her. She noticed that the furniture had been pushed up against the walls, that there was a Bible on the floor next to the patient having seizures, that the husband was in a full suit and tie. At this point, the poster knows that she has walked into an exorcism, or at least the aftershocks of an exorcism, and clearly one that did not go particularly well. So throughout our interaction, the patient is growling, hissing, at one point becomes combative, so I asked one of my partners to go get the box that holds the controlled substances so that we could sedate this patient. And while my partner goes to do that, I'm sitting by the patient and she begins to chant. Yes, I said chant. And I don't recognize the language that she is chanting in. I speak English and Spanish, and it is neither one of those. So I ask her husband, who also speaks Spanish, in Spanish, what is she speaking? And he said, "I think Italian." And I said, "Does she speak Italian?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Why would she speak Italian then?" And he said, "I don't know." And I didn't know either. And I'm pretty sure she was chanting in Latin. So we end up sedating this patient, and no one wanted to help us get this patient onto the gurney because, we actually didn't even want to touch this patient either, so I didn't blame them at all. And then we go en route to the hospital, and while en route, the patient is unconscious, but I kept feeling like she could wake up at any moment. And for obvious reasons, we didn't want to sit next to this patient, so we were standing by. Chris agrees, so they put it out on the balcony for the night. But there's been all of these crazy paranormal things happening around the doll, and Chris needs to go back to New Jersey. And so she makes the choice to put the doll inside of her storage unit. It's a store got a huge thing of salt. All right, here we go, guys. It is so creepy in here. Here we are. It's a little bit of a mess, so I don't know where he's gonna go, but we gotta find him a place. I cleared a space in here, but this keeps going off. Like, look at this. I'm using natural sea salt. I'm gonna put a ring of salt around him, and then I'm going to bind him to this.
Whatever.
No, because every year I'm the one that has to do that.
That the entity
I did. You didn't do it all.
and not with anybody else. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do a double salt.
Will have.
And you needed a little extra. Oh my god. Ever since I put the salt around him, this is going crazy. I'm calling in my guides, my angels, to help protect me against all evil and whatever evil entities may be attached to this doll. Please bind this entity or entities in this salt ring of protection, for he or she or whoever it is is here to stay indefinitely. I surround myself with love and light and the protection of my guides and my angels. I am protected and nothing is to interfere with me. Okay, he's in. Let's get him out of here. Once in the storage unit, the doll is enclosed in a circle of thick salt. And this is supposed to keep whatever is attached to the doll contained within that circle. But you can literally see the EMF reader start to go crazy when Chris pours this salt. Whatever is attached to the doll does not seem to like this. But there's a small detail in this video in which Chris puts the doll in the storage unit and creates a salt circle that you may have missed, but many other people on TikTok caught, which is that as the door was coming down to the storage unit, the rope that you could use to like obviously grab the door when it's really high up, cut into the salt circle, breaking it. And one day Chris gets the most disturbing phone call. Guys, my storage unit where I'm keeping my haunted doll just called me with noise complaints. I'm literally shaking. I'm about to call them back. You have to hear this. I'm looking at things about the concern with your unit. Intuitively, I've just been feeling really terrible about leaving it in my storage unit in California. Oh, thanks for calling Life Storage. This is Veronica. How can I help you? Hi, my name is... and I'm just returning your phone call. And yes, a security guard heard scratching from inside your unit last night. And we have a very strict no live animal or food policy. I'm definitely not storing any animals. Okay, because this is just the second time the security guard has reported noises from inside your unit, and we just want to keep it as clean as possible so, like, the neighbors don't have to deal with, like, any rats or any bugs or anything. If you could possibly come and check in your unit as soon as possible, otherwise, as per your contract, we have the right to open your storage unit while you're not here to make sure that there's no animals in there. Well, the problem is I'm in New Jersey. I'm not in California right now. We'll give you like 2 or 3 more days to have friend or family member come check in the unit. Otherwise, we will have to open it ourselves. Yeah, I just rather do it myself instead of having you guys go in there. So scratching. Security guards have heard scratching from inside her storage unit and believe she's storing an animal or something in there, or has food loose and there is rats and whatever. But she says there's no animals in there. There's nothing like that. The storage facility has offered Chris 2 options. One, she can check out the unit herself or have someone come to check it out for her, just make sure there's no animals and confirm that, or they will break the lock and enter her unit on their own. Chris doesn't want that, so she decides to mail the keys to her friend Kelsey and see if Kelsey will go into the unit and just see what's going on. But the thing is, Chris is in New Jersey for a while, will not be back, and they need someone to go and check on it. Otherwise, they're going to go open it themselves, and I really don't want that to happen. So Chris is going to send me the keys, and I'm going to go check on him and see what's going on. Guys, I'm scared. Stay tuned. After Chris mails her the keys, Kelsey goes to the unit to go and check everything out. And that's when we see just how much the salt circle was really broken. Kelsey goes on to fix the salt circle, and in this clip, she gives this entity very clear instructions saying you have to stay in the salt circle or else we have to go about getting rid of your doll. And there's a lot of kind of crazy stuff coming through on the spirit box. The other ghost hunting devices really just go off back to back. And I'm someone who's really familiar with these things. They don't just do that. There is very obviously something attached to this doll, and you kind of just have to hear it for yourself because it seems so aggressive and angry as Kelsey reseals the salt circle. Let's ask if it was him scratching on the unit doors. That means it was? Oh, that was confirmation. Was it you scratching on the walls? Okay, well, you need to stop. Do you understand? Is there a reason you're doing that?
No, I can't find my charger.
Dude, this thing is like so active. You need to stop making noise in here. Do you understand? Did the light just flicker? I swear I just saw the light flicker.
Chris!
Okay.
You know your brother's charger is?
I'm going to redo the salt circle.
I've seen all day.
With this, you need to stay within the salt
Wait a
circle.
minute.
If you are out of the
Go
salt
check
circle,
his,
you're going to have to
thing.
do something to get rid
Is
of
this
the
it?
salt.
I don't think so. I think this is yours, ain't it? Or dad's. This is your dad's, so.
Go check. Here, go open up your thing.
He already checked his room.
You dresser.
How this works.
Where your phone goes.
Stay within the
He already checked his desk.
circle. Now we gotta make sure the string does not break the salt circle this time. Next up is from one of my favorite TikTokers, who is Morg. Morg lives in incredibly and notoriously haunted Appalachia and talks about her experiences on her TikTok account. This one in particular really crawled under my skin because she is talking about a painting that she purchased on like Facebook Marketplace that ended up being, of course, haunted. A few years ago, I bought a painting off of Facebook Marketplace, and it turned out to be extremely haunted. If you've been here for a while, you know all about Irene, but if you don't, here's the painting.
I don't know. It's not put back on
She is
the
absolutely
table.
stunning, and she is hanging in my dining room.
Yeah, the cat's probably took it off the fucking table.
I came across this painting of her,
Oh,
and I had
well,
never
I
seen
know
her
they bought it, and
on
I
it,
know
but
they
I
have
was
it.
drawn to this painting. And I told
When
my
it's on the
husband,
day,
I
we're
was
just
like,
in here,
"Dude,
they
I
do.
googled the phrase "girl with red hair" painting. Immediately, Irene pops up. Here's the official title. I feel like I'll butcher it, but this is the actual title of the painting. This was a commission piece for Pierre Auguste Renoir. It was commissioned by Irene's father. So things started going weird as soon as I brought it in the house. No matter what, no matter how stable we make this painting, it is always tilted. Not only that, but there were a few instances that this painting was right side up, like straight, which is not normal.
I'm
and
trying
every
to
other
find it.
picture
I
in our
don't
house was
fucking know
tilted.
when it's
Starting
got that
to
to take
shoot,
it.
we had guests over and they didn't say hi to her or acknowledge her. Their things would get moved around and they would have kind of weird experiences. One of the creepiest things she does, however, is her expression will change. And I've told her story on here before, and I had the same picture up here, and it changed angles, and her expression changed. It was while I was talking about her passing. Her expression changed from the normal way it is to a grimace. And I'm going to insert it here, but it's really cool that I caught that on camera because it happens in person all the time. But let me just show you that clip. Okay, so here's like the regular way she normally looks. And then, see it? Hang on, I zoom in. Look at that. That's a scowl. That is a scowl. The little Irene painting is so fascinating, and Morg's experiences are not isolated. When I first initially told the story on here, I had a few people reach out to me.
I don't know. I'll have to try to find it or eventually get you a new one.
When they took it out, a lot of poltergeist activity started. I'm not the only one that's had
I
some
guess.
experiences with this painting. I'm so curious about this painting and the story behind it, but for now, let's go on to the next TikTok. And it originally comes from the account Win McPix, although the one I'm about to show you was posted by Crazy Paranormal because they slow down the footage a bit, zoom some things in so you can get a better look at it all. Now, Win McPix has been experiencing a haunting since 2020. You've probably seen me put this guy's TikToks into one of these compilations before, but this one recently went viral. In it, we see that something in the basement is very hungry.
Taking the water, I'm gonna fill up the water bottle, then I'm gonna fill up the ice cube trays.
Hey buddy, I got too much going on. You gotta cut it out. Okay. Just gonna set it up with the towels and we'll just let the foam roll.
Well, I'm not asleep, but the TV's on. The living room TV now.
You can go play with toys and watch TV in your room. I don't know what to tell ya. I thought your brother put it back in your dresser the other night, like I told him to.
He didn't.
He's okay.
He's supposed to.
Please, just Holy cow.
Holy.
Little buddy.
Georgia, in my dresser.
Little buddy.
When Win McPick refers to the shadow as Little Buddy,
Will you put your brother's leftovers out before long too, Chris?
which cannot mean
Will you put your brother's leftover mac and cheese out?
thinking it was a kid the whole time. This is not the first
Yeah,
time
there's more in
this
that pan.
poster has seen a ghost child in their home. In this clip, when the lights go crazy, we can hear what sounds
You
like
done put your ball in the sink.
calling out to him just before he goes to investigate.
You can have more later or something.
Yes. Hello. What is that? Who are you? I'm not gonna hurt you. Leave my lights alone.
So at this point, I'm looking through the Win McPick's account and seeing what scary videos I had never found before. Because like I said, this has been going on for years. In this clip in particular, Win is coming down the stairs after he hears what sounds like somebody strumming his guitar.
It's starting again. Hello?
Dent. I didn't have room to put it all in here.
Give me a minute, I can move this out the way.
What does a minute mean?
I was talking to you, Dad. Not you. I was telling you, Dad, I can move the nozzle from the fucking sprayer out the way.
Hidden away in the garage, we still hear the music. This is from Kate Corba on TikTok. Have you ever seen this trend before? It's like a sound from the Mandela catalog that says if you see someone who looks identical to you, run away and hide. Tons of creepy videos have come out of this, but this one has to be my favorite.
If you see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
That is such nightmare fuel, and it's such a good video. It has like well over 20 million views now. I love that trend. So many good videos have come out of it, but Corvo wins. The next video comes from G. Harper, who basically explains that they have started hearing what sounds like knocking beneath the floorboards of their home.
What the FXCK is under our floorboards?
Just what? It's fucking knocking, Tom. Yeah, what the fuck is that, babe? It's doing different amounts each time. It's a proper hard knock. Like I can feel it. It's like it's not on the outside, but I think feel it. It's like
Is it?
They might have a basement next door a little bit.
In this video, we hear examples of something repeatedly knocking back when the poster and her partner knock on the floorboards of their home. And the knocks vary. Sometimes you'll hear 3, sometimes just 1, and they only ever really respond to the poster knocking in turn. So for the next video, I wanted to show another example of this, kind of a crazier example.
The knocking from under our floor is back at the same time as last night.
Chris, come turn out this light.
I got it.
Never mind, your brother's got it.
Which one?
That one. Thank you, Bubby.
You're welcome. Why don't you need a charger?
Boy, we will figure something out.
It's like he's on the other side of the room. Feels like his baby. Beneath the top of the soup plus. Like it was a brick beneath the top.
Once again, we hear these same knocking sounds from beneath the floorboards, and I have to imagine that this couple doesn't live in an apartment. Because if they did, of course, I don't think anyone would really be questioning this. There was like this one video where the poster puts her head against the floor so she can hear the knocking, and you see what looks like the front door of their home, and it definitely looks like a house front door, not an apartment front door.
So they did a PSA to stop you from smoking, but they replaced the word smoker or quarter.
It's something that has some
So instead
sort
of her saying, I never thought I was a smoker, in my head I said I was a social smoker. It was, I never called myself a farter. In my head I was a social farter.
But this one in particular features a doll, a ventriloquist doll.
Why do you think he farts?
Who seemingly has a mind of its own.
This is a 1940s ventriloquist doll. It's from the World War II era, and it was captured on camera,
Excuse me, I
moving on its own. So the story behind this is that the doll is actually owned by a collector named Michael Diamond. He's a Liverpool man and a father of two. But he noticed that the latch on the glass case kept opening night after night, so what he did was he set up a camera, assuming that he was going to catch one of his children in it, and this was the footage he captured.
Now in the footage, we see the glass slowly swing open, and as it does, the ventriloquist dummy's eyes kind of open ever so slightly, and then close again later. This was a creepy video. And sometimes when I see stuff like this, I'm like, what would that doll do if it wasn't behind glass? Is the glass doing anything? Or is it just like for display purposes? Are we trying to contain the spirit? Because I don't think that the glass is doing anything. Anyway, it's fine. I just panicked for several minutes and then wondered if I should be putting any of my haunted dolls inside of glass. Yada, yada, yada. Way too much caffeine today. Don't mind. Our next video I thought about saving for last because it is my favorite story that has come out of this trend on TikTok. But I feel like I just need to show it to you now. It comes from Psychic-ish Podcast on TikTok. And to me, this one sounds a bit like a glitch in the Matrix story. Our poster, who is named Lynn, had the following experience when she was just 21 years old, going to university in Wellington, New Zealand, and living all around a pretty normal life. It's a totally normal night, and she has just tucked herself into bed and drifted off to sleep. And she has a really vivid dream. She says not quite a lucid dream, but there was this sense of awareness where she knew that she was dreaming. And this is something that happens for her with dreams quite often. In the dream, she was pregnant. She could feel the baby kicking around in her body. She could literally see, of course, her stomach and her cute little bump, and she found herself getting really, really attached to this baby. Even though there wasn't like a physical baby there, she knew it was inside of her. And even though she was aware this was a dream, she kind of found herself starting to get attached to this baby. But what is she going to do? It's a dream. And in the dream, the day gets later and later and later. And Lynn realizes, like, it's nighttime now in this dream, and she's gonna have to go to sleep in what she knows is a dream. And she's kind of confused. She's like, I can't really remember ever going to sleep in a dream before, but maybe this will be what gets me to wake up. The next morning, when Lynn wakes up, she's not back in her bed in Wellington, New Zealand. She is